Hello, welcome to I Feel Fat Today. I'm your host, Kelly Taylor. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to head over to YouTube and follow us at I Feel Fat Today. There you have full video episodes that we post weekly. You know the drill. And then head over to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. That would mean the world to me. I'm standing here recording this quick intro to remind you to do all those things that are free, by the way, to do as I'm preparing dinner. I am fresh off of a therapy session this week. It was in person. And I got to say, my in-person therapy visits, they just hit different. It's not like the Zoom therapy, the virtual therapy, that feels like, I'm getting a massage, but in-person therapy, that feels like acupuncture. Like I feel like I'm actually solving the issue when I go in person. And I had quite the conversation today, so I am emotional. And before I went into therapy today, I happened to catch the Oprah Winfrey special that she had on ABC that was a few days ago, and I'm really excited to sink my teeth into that, and I think that's going to be next episode. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to deep dive into the Oprah Winfrey ABC special where she talks about Ozempic and other weight loss drugs and how it's affected people's life. And I have a lot to say about it. But that's next week. For this week, I am going to have a smooth sail. For this week, I'm going to have us sail right on in smoothly. That was very smooth. To my conversation with my guest. I can't believe she took time out of her very busy and lucrative schedule to meet with me and chat about body positivity, being mean to ourselves, being nasty about the new people our exes are dating. And we had a really fun conversation. So please welcome my guest this week, the lovely Glorelys Mora.
Well, Kelly, we're here.
We're here. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I'm honestly honored.
Honestly, everyone thinks I'm famous already. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think it's not that I think you're famous. It's just that you're really funny, and it's just very nice of you to come to my humble little podcast.
Oh, yeah. I love podcasts.
Yeah.
One thing about me, I love talking.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm a Gemini, and you told me you're a Libra.
I'm a Libra.
Yeah. So we're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah. No, I like talking about things ad nauseum. Where it's like, why?
I don't know what the word nausea means. I should know that.
Where it's like, you're just sick of talking about it.
Oh, yeah. No, I had to stop talking about LA. Are we going to talk about LA today?
Okay.
Can
I tell you something that I am so embarrassed by?
What?
I had no idea you moved to LA.
Oh, it's okay. Not everybody knows that.
I had no. And so then I saw your post being like, people are so annoying with these questions. And I'm like, I had no idea.
I want to clarify.
Yeah.
One, there's 3 reasons why I do those posts. One, it just disrupts the algorithm, so it makes me more important than I should be.
Absolutely.
So like that day, I had like thousands of people look at my stories, and I'm like, okay, the attention, I got the attention. But 2, I need to do a better job of like letting people know what I'm actually up to, because I've been so mysterious the last couple. It's not on purpose. I just don't really have a social strategy right now. So I just I know I'm gonna delete everything, so I haven't even like posted.
Yeah, I think keep doing what you're doing. I like your social strategy.
But I had gone out, I think on Friday last week, and nobody's fault. Obviously, everyone has like the most altruistic motives. Nobody's trying to be mean. But I had got that question from like 50 people back to back to back to back to back. And it was like, it's like when you start doing comedy, and it's like, oh my God, how did you get into comedy?
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And you asking me this is giving me anxiety. So that's how I feel about LA. Like, I literally just moved like 4 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. You're
so it's new. I still come back and forth, and everyone's like, "Why are you back in town?" Like, my mom lives here, and my great grandma just died. I know, don't feel sad. Yeah,
bi-coastal.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, so it's fine, but yeah, I did move to LA, so I don't know if we're gonna ask any questions there, but we can.
Yeah, well, once I realized you were living in LA, I was doubly humbled because I'm like, oh, she's taking her time from like her New York time to sit and talk with me.
But when I'm in New York, because it's easier to get around here, I just stack up everything I'm doing.
Yeah, of course.
But in LA, my rule is like I'm only going out once a week. Like no one, you
really?
guys aren't gonna see me.
Oh yeah, because you have to drive everywhere.
Yeah. And my drives are Ubers.
Yeah.
So like Like,
Yeah.
it's different. Like in LA, like if I leave my apartment, it has to be 1000% thought out. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's either comedy or I really love like this person is my best friend.
Right.
In New York, it's like, yeah, we can be everywhere because like the train takes you everywhere. But the trains in LA are not the trains in New York.
No, I went and visited LA once, and I like had a thought of taking the train, and then like I walked up to the steps and I was just like, I'm just not going to take the train.
Yeah. I tried it just because out of curiosity. I'm like, it's not that bad. It's that bad.
I know.
It's that bad. Because it's not like in New York where you have, I feel like in New York there's like a certain code of like, we don't know each other, but like if something was to go down, I'll jump in for you.
Yeah.
And LA is very much like, we don't know each other, and if something was to go down, you dying.
Yep.
Like you by yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's LA. I'm not public transportation over there, except for the bus. The bus is not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then I live in Glendale, so I take the B line. It's like when I was in college, I would take the bus to the mall.
Yeah,
so
I hear
it's not horrible.
I hear people talk about all the time how like they get around with the bus.
Yeah,
you go over there.
I think the bus is the safest option because you can escape, but on the subway in LA, like you
can't escape.
The length between stops is so long.
Yeah,
that if someone was to murder you, you will die.
Yeah,
like I did the calculations. I was like, oh, if somebody were to murder me today, I would die.
Yeah, the only time I really like think about the train being somewhat like if someone weirds on the train, I'm like, fuck, like we're going from First Ave to Bedford. I'm gonna be down here for like 12 minutes.
But this is
that's not even a lot.
This is like everybody would jump in and
totally.
But I was going to Santa Monica. I said, I'm dying.
Santa Monica can get a little. You know, it's so funny because I'm from New Jersey, so I can visit my parents when I want. Or it'll be like a holiday. I'll be at Christmas and like. An aunt or an uncle will be like, I can't believe you live in New York, because like they're just so like afraid of everything. And I feel like an old person when I'm in LA, being like, oh, this is so frightening.
Yeah, don't. I would say the bus is fine in certain locations. The train don't even like. If you're taking the train, I would take it with like a homegirl. Like totally. The train from downtown LA to Santa Monica is the safest, but even that is a little crazy.
Yeah. Do you think you'll get to the point where you have a car in LA?
No, I'm planning. So part of the reason why I'm here is so I could get my permit. So I didn't want to go back to LA without having some type of permit because I don't know what the rules are over there.
Oh, so have you ever had your license?
No.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, because you're born and raised in Manhattan.
Yeah. But I went to Syracuse. I didn't need a car out there.
Yeah, you don't need a car in college.
So, and this is pre-Uber. We were just, you know, if one person got a car, we would just be in that. That was the community car.
Yeah. I'm 31. When I was in college, it was like the one friend with the car.
Yeah, 100%.
And like we would call taxis to go out, which is so funny.
Like the whole, and the one person with the car was the guy that liked you, so it was perfect.
It's like, don't worry, I got it. My guy has it.
I did have one ex that asked me to pay him $20 to drop us off at a party.
Oh, it's such a bad look too. You're like so embarrassed because you said it in front of your friends.
I know. I was like, that's not my man. That's not my husband.
I don't claim him.
Yeah, it was crazy. But,
are you dating in LA?
I'm not. You know what, Kelly? I'm not dating at all. I think today I decided I'm not dating.
Okay, good.
I just came out of a 3-year situationship.
Okay.
So, you know, it's not that I'm traumatized. It's just like I was doing so much work in that relationship. Like every person you date has a different thing that you got to figure out. But this guy just has so much emotional. We're going to put this on Instagram. You're going to collab with me? Because he's going to see this. Oh, damn.
Well, we don't have to cut anything that you don't want.
Well, I don't mind saying it. I just don't want it to be on my page because he's always still on my fucking page. But it just was too much emotional labor. And I'm still picking up the pieces of like surviving a pandemic and then being in this relationship that took so much of my time. Yeah. Because it wasn't going anywhere. So like it's a difference if like you're in a relationship and you guys break up and like you actually like explore the relationship, but we're always gonna have the what if, and I think it's such a waste of energy.
I am like the queen of a situationship. Yeah. That's like always been my thing. And my relationship with Joe is like my first committed relationship. And
what's his sign?
He's also a Libra, which I fear a Libra man, but he's different.
Why do you fear? They're not bad.
They've maybe their moon was off or something. They've taunted me.
I mean, I don't really like Libras in general.
Really?
It just Libras.
We're a little too people pleasy.
That's what I'm saying. Like Libras will never tell you how they feel because they're so diplomatic that it ends up becoming an issue because you think that everything's fine, and then a year later they'll be like, "Well, all these things are wrong," and I'm like, "Well, bitch. Why didn't you tell me that? I'm a completely different person now." Yeah. So I think that's the only thing. Like, I feel like there's always this like jealousy or resentment that Libras carry with them.
Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you for confirming.
No, I am very thankful for my Aries moon because that keeps me
that
like
will tell you.
that
Honest.
keeps me from like being railroaded.
Yeah, but I never dated a Libra man. I used to have a Libra best friend, and he would take all of my ideas and act like I was unhelpful, and we're not friends anymore.
Oh, there you go,
Josh.
yeah,
Very, very good
cash
gaslighting.
out.
But yeah, I'm not. You were saying that this is the first time you've been in a
relationship, and so I don't know what it would be like to break up, and you know what that would be like. But I've gotten out of situationships and I've been ghosted by men, and my friends, I feel like, weren't always so nice to me about it. They were like,
as a woman,
they were like, but you weren't dating, like that wasn't your boyfriend.
I hate
I'm like,
bitches like that.
I'm like, why does this hurt more?
Yeah, it hurts more because you didn't get to see it through.
Yes.
So like, I think that when you're in a relationship, you're like, I 100% know how this person's gonna show up in a relationship.
Yeah.
So there's no wondering. I've seen it, but that's kind of happens in the situationship too.
Yeah.
But I hate people and women that be like, it wasn't real. It was very real, bitch.
Very real.
It was very real. I hate these bitches.
Sorry, he has problems where
Yeah.
like he can't commit to me,
And it's not your fault.
No. Well,
yeah. I was gonna say, actually, it is a little bit our fault because we let the shit
stayed
happen.
in it.
Yeah.
I realized
we can't be delusional. Sorry.
I realized so much about my situationships in the past from this relationship. Like I realized so much about like how I acted, like, you know, my part in prolonging something like that. So did the move to LA kind of like be like, what are we doing here?
I was supposed to move to LA in 2020. I was like, you know what? I was 30 at the time. I'm sorry. I was 30 at the time. I had, you know, when you're going to move across the country, you need like a large, like you need money.
Yeah.
And I had all this money saved up. And I was like, if I stay in New York, it's going to go towards an apartment. Or if I go to LA, it can go towards trying something, you know, whatever. And I'm not necessarily mad that I stayed because I was able to, you know, you progress your comedy career in different ways. So like in New York, I was able to really be like a New York comic.
Yeah.
So I was able to work at a lot of clubs, and I was able to really solidify myself as Glorelys. Now I still have work to do, but people know who I am as a New York comedian. Like I'm not a nobody.
The scene knows you.
The scene knows who the fuck I am. But I always wonder, like, what would have happened if I would have moved to LA sooner? Like, but you know, you can't do the what if. So I'm like, I think I moved at the right time. I was able to build up like my resume in New York and then move to LA. And now I have a lot of community, like especially comedy community, that a lot of people move to LA and don't have. So I'm like, you know, it's a win-win. But he stopped me. I wouldn't say he stopped me. I thought this man was my husband. That I was like, I don't need to. Honestly, I don't need to go because I will never leave my husband.
Yep. You're too
you
loyal.
You know what I always think about? Lauren Conrad.
Oh,
she didn't go to Paris.
The girl that didn't go to Paris.
The girl that didn't go to Paris.
The girl that didn't go to Paris.
That should be the name of this episode.
Yeah.
But she didn't go to Paris. And I just think as women, never, if your goals align with this man, sure. But like, don't stay somewhere because of love. That was a mistake. I feel like I wasted and when you get in a relationship, their problems become your problems.
Yep.
So I wasted so much money. I gained so much weight, which I know we're going to talk about body positivity. I just feel like I didn't take care of myself because I was always taking care of him.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like culturally as a Latina, like our job is to cater to men.
Yeah.
And that relationship, it did improve my comedy because it helped me to really solidify the fact that I'm a dumb bitch and I have a purpose. I got to tell the dumb bitches to stop being dumb. I need to because I learned my lesson. I'm like, love is great, Kelly, but you have to really be good with yourself before.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to be one of those people that get it together before you get in a relationship, but you need to have an identity or else that person's everything becomes your thing. So in conclusion, I'm not dating right now because I'm traumatized.
Yeah.
I'm not closed off to love. I still want to be in love, whatever. Whatever. But then like starting to date is still traumatizing because if someone doesn't like write back to your text or whatever, you get nervous. And I'm like, I don't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not dating as a regular bitch anymore. I'm dating as a pre-famous person.
Right.
So these are potential screenshots.
Exactly. These are the people that like, it's hard to kind of date casually because if you do something like, I don't know, embarrassing
write
a paragraph.
I'll write a paragraph.
Yeah. You're a novelist.
100%.
I love it.
I've helped so many people with their English.
Yeah.
I still need help, but I've helped a lot of people read.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then this stuff comes back to haunt you. I'm like, I just am scared. And I'm like, maybe I'm still, I was taking one of those TikTok quizzes where they're like, okay, if you put a finger down.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're like, you're autistic or whatever?
Well, the one about, did you take the autism one?
I mean, they're always on my For You page.
All of us have autism.
I mean, come on. How could we not?
Right. The internet done fucked all of us up. But it was one like, like if you're ready for a relationship. And the first one was like, is your ex still a factor? I was like, you know what? I'm not ready. He's not a factor in my life, but like the fact that we haven't, I think he doesn't think that we're done because I'm a Gemini.
Sounds a little selfish of him.
He is selfish.
You know,
he's selfish.
He was the one that wasn't committing.
He's the one that wasn't ready for a relationship. He was the one
After 3 years,
baby.
Come on.
But you know, it was 3 years on and off. So like first it was 3 months, then it was 6 months, and then I was like, oh, okay, because the first 3 months it may be a bad time situation,
right?
But the first 3 months is like maybe bad timing. 6 months, that's really the personality. And if you don't want to see it, that's on you.
Yeah.
And then a year, that's just who that man is.
Yep.
So it was my fault for wanting to see something that wasn't there. And maybe he will become the man he's supposed to be. I'm not going to take that away from him. But I'm done. I'm done. And he keeps like liking my posts. And I'm like, we need to go months without interacting with each other. You can still see my shit, but just I don't want to be reminded that you exist.
I know. But because then it starts the orbital. It's called orbital dating.
He orbiting.
Yeah, orbiting a lot.
He orbiting by his damn self. Because
so are you looking at when he's looking at your story?
I had to hide him from my stories.
Okay.
Because he would be the first one. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Yeah, he's on a fast track to get blocked. He better chill.
I'm about to block him.
Yeah.
Not because there's any beef, but it's like we need to really break.
It's a matter of self-preservation.
Yeah. Everyone keeps saying that. What the fuck does self-preservation mean? Everybody keeps
when
saying
you're
that.
just trying to survive. Like it's like because
Is it me or him? He's being self-preservation.
It'd be for you because you can't see, John Doe liked.
Yeah,
your shit.
I'm honestly like really over it. I just feel like a little bit responsible for his feelings, which everyone does in a relationship. But
Yeah.
I just want to be able to be like, hey, this is no longer my responsibility.
Yeah.
So I think that was like the hardest part about breaking up because I was like, I care about you, but like, no, I can't be your friends and listen to your problems all the time. I did that because I liked you. We don't like each other anymore. I have to move on.
Right.
So
this is sort of out of nowhere, but I'm just curious. Yeah. You mentioned in the relationship you gained weight. Did he ever say anything to you about having gained weight?
No, he never like mentioned
it. Can be a little touch and go in a situationship.
Yeah. What do you mean touch and go?
It could be like, I feel like if you're in a relationship and you gain weight, it's like you and the person that's committed to you. It's like you're probably gaining weight together. Anything.
So in the beginning, because that's the thing about situationships. In the beginning, you're going along because like you're not defining the relationship.
And you're keeping everything
tight.
Yeah.
We're going, this is going to be a relationship. So like the first couple of weeks when we were dating, like we both gained a lot of weight. Like there was a point where like he has a mirror in front of his bed that I put there, I was decorating. It was on the side and I don't want to be too like whatever.
Right.
This is PG-13, but he was hitting it from the back and I saw myself and I was like, oh my, I don't want, ew, what the fuck, you know? So I was like, I've gained so much weight, but
you don't realize, it's like a frog in boiling water. Like you don't realize you are burning.
But it's happy weight, right? Like it's like we were both going out to restaurants. We were going to Puerto Rico. We were eating. We were like, we're in love and that's fine. I think that's fine. But for me, like the weight issue then became like, because the world was coming back into reality or whatever was happening. We had to survive the pandemic. And then when you do comedy, like I'm out drinking all the time and eating. My schedule's messed up. And now the issue of my weight gain, it's not that like, I don't mind being thick. Like I love my ass is fat. I'm cool with it. But now the issue has become like, oh, I have like actual like fibroids and like issues.
Your health,
Yeah, and like pre-diabetes. And I'm like, I have to lose weight. Like it's not, and I just haven't had a chance. So part of the issue, like, my time, I haven't had time to like really get on a really good nutritional plan and I think I'm still healing from the breakup because of the weight gain. Like that's part of everything that came with that relationship. I'm still healing, not because like romantically, but now it's kind of like a new lifestyle, which is what happens at a breakup. Yeah, it's like we were in a lifestyle together. We're no longer in a lifestyle. So now I have to remove, and I think that's what I'm trying to remove myself. Yeah, in all aspects, like on Instagram with my weight, like with the way I show up in the world and
energetically, just even getting him out of your
like also like even on my set, like I'll make jokes about whatever but once for me the joke is like crystallized. I don't have attachment to it.
Right.
But like I don't talk about my raw feelings about this relationship anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just over it. But I think part of the reason why I did love him was because he did give me a safe space to like be a chaotic Gemini and to not judge me. And I had brought up my weight one time, but he's like, nobody's thinking about that.
Right.
Men could suck, but they could be really nice about accepting.
Yeah.
Well, at least the men that I've dated, they have always accepted like that.
And like it also is something that they could be attracted to, which I think is just something that, especially for white women, I think it's like we automatically think like, oh, if we're fat, then no one's gonna love us.
They be treating y'all really hard. I'll tell you that. Like I follow I figure out the supermodel's name.
Emrata.
No, she's a plus size model, and she's like working.
Tess Holiday.
No,
I don't know. There's so many.
She's like a big deal.
Remy Bader.
No, I don't know none of these white women.
There's so many.
No, the one with the A, Ashley, I think her name is
Ashley Graham.
Yeah. I like following her. Like I like seeing what I can do with my outfits with other
absolutely.
people. I feel like there's this new trend on TikTok where the girls are like, okay, I'm mid-size, this is my size. And I like following women that are like telling me what it is. And again, there's nothing wrong with the weight gain. I do feel like, you should be at whatever makes you happy. Yeah. So for me, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable at this weight. Mm-hmm. Not because I don't like being thick, but it's like, I don't know how to dress for this body, and I have fibroids, and I have prediabetes, and it's stressing me out. Yeah. But they're,
and here's the thing, because I don't have prediabetes, but I live in a bigger body. Yeah. But someone that's a troll on the internet would say that I'm the one with the health issue just because I look bigger than you. Yeah. And that's what fucking sucks. And that's,
but I guess there needs to be more education around that.
And I think like, that's what it is when it's like, no, people really have a lot of opinions on how, 100%. On people's health. And it's like, you don't know anything.
Yeah, I feel like one, people on the internet are doing too much. And two, I think there's certain things, like you ever watch like a reality show, like kids are off limits. I think that like weight shaming and like those things should be off limit. Like we're all sharing this, IP address.
I agree.
And I don't think that you should be making comments on people's physical appearance.
It goes for skinny people too. I see so many people make really like mean comments about a model posting a photo of herself, and it's like, this is what you're promoting, this is unhealthy, like you're too skinny, and it's like, just leave us all alone.
So what is the alternative? Like, do you want me to lie about the way I show up? Like,
yeah.
And if it makes you uncomfortable, you get the fuck off my page. Like, that's my rule on my Instagram. You can, I'm not open to criticism. That is literally where I'm at.
That's a great Instagram bio. Not open to criticism.
I'm not open to criticism. I need everyone to know that. And I'm okay with knowing that you don't like that you can't criticize me. I'm gonna block you off my page. But I do feel bad for like people that don't have like a community manager, like famous people, and they feel, but it's like, this is the way I want to show up in the world right now, and I accept myself. I'm sorry that you don't.
That sucks
but
for you.
I do think, even though it doesn't happen on the internet, in the Latino community, it definitely happens in the living room.
Yeah.
Like your shit, you could be like, I'm gonna just block him. Our families, I literally have a joke about like my aunt asking me like, oh my God, they say this thing, tu estás fuerte, which means you're really strong, which means you gain weight.
Yeah.
And it's like, bitch, I know. Yeah. And you telling me that is pissing me off.
It's like a compulsion. Why do you have to tell that to me?
Yeah. But I think it's also a cultural thing to just be criticizing people all the time. Yeah. Maybe it's like a global thing at this point.
I know so many different, everyone I talk to on this podcast talks about like
they have that one
WASP do it more like waspy people do it more like underhanded.
What's waspy? What's
like ultra white?
Okay. What is I've been learning a new thing. What is wasp? What is that?
I know. I only learned it in the last few years because my friend kept referring to herself as a wasp. But waspy,
why would she do that? Well, waspy is like
they're proud,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, waspy is just like really white, like, nobody talks about their problems. It'll be very Did you watch Succession?
I know of it, but I don't. I watch Gilmore Girls. Does that count?
No.
Okay. But the I would say the grandma in Gilmore Girls was waspy.
That's a waspy.
Yeah,
that's a waspy grandma.
She was mad waspy.
That's very true.
She was upholding a lot of tradition. But are white people like truly white? I know that's maybe like a bad question to ask, but like I feel like you got this ancestry shit right here, right?
I know that's Joe's. He hasn't, because Joe's like 4 different things.
Yeah, but I
so.
feel like I think like in my brain I'm like everyone's like Italian or from
I know,
like
we're
Scottish.
all like
yeah,
a
so I'm like,
bunch.
what are we upholding? But that's a separate
I know.
conversation for a different podcast. But so you're saying like the really like conservative family members, they have a way you're supposed to look like.
Yeah, and if you go above it, then it's like then they'll say something more underhanded that kind of cuts you in a way to like cut you down. Whereas
100%.
like, yeah, whereas like I find my friends that like my one friend married into a Persian family.
Okay.
And so she's like, I go to Mike's grandma's house, and you know they'll just say to your face like, oh, you've like you're looking fat. Like they'll just tell you like. You know, they'll say stuff directly to your face. And so it's like, once you realize that they're not being mean, they're just observing and saying, are they being mean when it comes to you?
I don't know. The thing about being mean, I don't think it's just family stuff. It's just everyone. Like, is it really your place to tell somebody they've gained
It would
weight?
drive me fucking crazy.
That's just, that's mean. Now, hear me out, Kelly. Hear me out. I think that sometimes, if it's out of a place of concern, because sometimes you are a natural build thicker girl, and that's fine. But sometimes if you see someone have like a drastic weight change, I think that it's not, I'm not saying it's okay, but if you have to approach it in a certain way, like, hey, I love you as you are.
Yeah.
I've noticed things are fluctuating. Are you happy the way you are? Or is there something going on? I think, but that's not a everybody thing. Like that's a rapport. Like you gotta be my sister to say that. Even maybe my mom, because but I think that there's a way to do it and like, hey, I'm like actually concerned for you versus I'm trying to uphold this tradition of what beauty and class looks like. Right. And I think those are two different ways of approach.
I agree with you. I agree with it on the opposite end too. I think that our instinct is to maybe, be concerned about someone that gains a lot of weight, but the same, if I'm the same person that you would have that conversation with and I walk in and I drop 100 pounds, everyone would be congratulating me. No one would be asking.
I still would ask.
But because you're like emotionally sound.
I'm a Pisces moon, so I care about people.
You care about people.
I think losing drastic weight is also a health issue.
And I think people now are starting to come around to the idea that like, oh no, if you lose a lot of weight, it's not just like an automatic compliment.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's a tough conversation. Yeah. It's tough for me. I was on a podcast where I was like the thickest girl and I was like, you know what? I'm okay with it. Like, but now the question of like, how do I dress? I want to make sure I still look good. Yeah. That's what I've been having issues with. Like, I don't mind being thick. It's just, I just don't know how to dress for.
Well, you're going to lose weight when you go to LA because I just feel like that city breeds like I feel like even if I visit for a weekend I'm like infinitely healthier.
No, they have a lot of green shit over there.
A lot of green shit and no one drinks.
Yeah, I mean I've been thinking about stopping drinking only because like I've been gaining so much weight. Right. But I'm a comic. I'm not like just out there like
I know
for fun. I'm like I don't know what else to do, but like I need to just have a beer. It's like a bad habit.
Because you're out.
Yeah, it's a habit. It's also like sometimes socially awkward sometimes when you're in these like I'm okay with going to a show by myself, but like sometimes you're like running into people. I'm like, I have nothing to talk to this person about, so I'm gonna just drink a beer and like put something between us.
Yeah. I feel you. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
But I also enjoy having a drink with my friends.
No, yeah. But then now I'm like, everything's so sweet, all this shit. But
do you at all dabble in smoking or eating weed?
No. I mean, if I do it, it's like once a year. But I'm not a drug girl. These are all mushrooms over here, right?
Yeah.
I did one mushroom trip.
Yeah.
I think that's good for the next 5 years.
You're good on that.
Yeah, I'm just naturally high already. So like, I don't need drugs. But I do feel like I could smoke a little bit to just stop being so hype. Like I think so all the time. Like I can never have like a day where I'm not worried. Like the other day I was doing a photo shoot and I touched some sauce that was on the thing and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And it was like a whole thing. But yeah, I want to lose weight for myself, right? Like I want to be, sometimes I'll see like, I'm 34. I'm going to be 34 this year. I know you said you were 31?
31, yeah.
I'm going to be 34 this year. And I'm like, sometimes I want to have like, one thing that I feel like comedy kind of took away from me, not on purpose, whatever, but it's like the femininity of like just going out and like being having dainty. Your boobs out.
Yeah,
and like, not it mean like, oh my God, Glory the comedian is putting her titties out. It's like, No, like I'm just going to brunch and this is what I like to do with my bitches.
Yeah.
So I do sometimes I'll be like on Instagram and see like a really pretty girl and be like, damn, like I miss my old body. I wish at that time I didn't think I was fat.
Oh.
Like, or that I didn't, or that I was
smack that girl that thought she was fat.
Because it's crazy because every time I look back, I'm like, I thought I was big there.
I know.
I don't even look
like
big.
Emotionally distraught over thinking I was big.
Yeah. I'm always going through like my photos because I love nostalgia. I'm like, I can't believe I thought I was so mean to myself.
So mean.
When I was in my 20s and my 30s. And I'm like, I would give a left kidney to just be able to look like that again.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And it's like you would never be that mean to someone else. But you think about it.
Somebody, you know how like sometimes you do so many podcasts where you just start taking quotes. I don't know who said this, so sorry that I'm about to plagiarize and copy, but someone said you should talk to your, like if your inner thoughts were a roommate, would you allow that in your apartment?
Yep.
And that's how you should talk to yourself. Like imagine your roommate be like, bitch, you've gained weight, you're fat. Yeah. Like, you gotta go.
Yeah,
you gotta go.
They would be immediately kicked out.
Yeah.
I also was listening to a podcast and I don't remember who said this, but they said my self would probably be in therapy for the way that I talk to myself.
100%.
And I hadn't thought of it like that. I think that's how she phrased it. And it was like, and they were kind of describing like talking about the way that you talk about yourself as if they were a shitty boyfriend. It's like, oh, I can't believe she said that in front of your friends.
You would break up with them.
Immediately.
Yeah. We talk to ourselves so nasty.
Mean. I know.
And I've been trying to be like nicer to myself because I know that I've gained weight, right? It's not a secret to myself because I can't fit in certain things. But like I keep asking myself like, okay, girl, it's okay. Like accept yourself where you are right now. Yeah. If you do have a health issue, we need to get to the bottom. That's the way I talk to myself. We need to get to the bottom of it. Not because there's anything wrong with the way you look, but we got to get to the bottom of it. Like I've just really noticed the weight gain.
Is this the first time you've ever dealt with weight gain?
No, every year I gain 20 pounds. So it's not.
It's just been up and to the right.
Yeah, it is going up. But so when I was in the lowest I've ever been was 126. And the reason I was that weight was because I was literally trying to disappear. I was like, I'm going to starve myself. Yeah. And that's the thing where you were saying, like, even the opposite, there could be issues there. Mm-hmm. So I was in a relationship and it was really abusive. And I was like, I'm going to starve. I didn't know how to handle it. So I'm going to starve myself so I could maybe disappear.
Were you young?
I was like maybe 18, 19.
Okay, yeah.
So I was
very
like,
young.
I'm just going to.
Your brain wasn't fully formed
yet.
Yeah,
and if you look at the pictures, like I look really skinny.
Yeah.
Like it was bad. You can see like there was a picture where you can see like my skeleton, like the back of my skeleton. Yeah. It was really bad. But then there were moments where I'm like, okay. So I also used to model. So I think the weight thing is a little bit like, okay, if I get the further away I get from this weight, I can't model anymore.
What did you model?
I used to model for Baby Fat and Vodka Wear.
No way. That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, but I was on like the e-commerce site, so like they chopped my head off. But they were still using like my body. So like, it was very focused on body. Yeah. So I remember like telling myself like if I keep moving away from this weight, I can't model anymore. Yeah,
it's like messing up your career.
Yeah, I was at 135 and then I went to 146 and then 150 and then I remember being around 168 and that's my happy weight, right? Yeah. Where it's like you have to also ask yourself like what's the weight that makes you happy? I was like 168 was great. Like I felt like I didn't have my fupa, but I can still like, I had like, silhouette. Yeah. But I didn't feel like winded or whatever all the time. And again, it's up to you to figure out what that health looks like for you. And none of us are doctors, so don't be flagging us. But I just know right now, like I'll go up a flight of stairs. I'm like, yo, I'm just out of shape. Like it doesn't matter how much I weigh. Yep. I'm out of shape. Yep. So, like I've gained weight all the time and I keep like being mean to myself. Like, oh my God, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose the weight. And now I have 40 pounds to get back to my happy weight. Right. So, I'm just a little pissed at myself.
I think that you can maybe get into that. Especially now, like you've shedded the weight of that man.
Oh, I'm still working on it.
Yeah, you're still working on it.
Give me to June. That shit gonna be gone. That shit gonna be
we'll
gone.
hit it in Q2.
Right. That literally, I'm like, Q1 was rough. Yeah. Q1 was, everyone wants to work this year. Like, I guess, we'll talk about it later because my people follow me. But the other thing I was gonna say is another thing that bothers me is that I don't put my stand-up clips up because I don't like the way I look.
That's a rough one. So, I feel you on that.
So now I'm like beating myself up. Like, I don't have any new clips, but every time I do a podcast or a video, I hate the way I look. Right. So I'm like, what am I I just the way we talk to ourselves is really bad,
And it's so completely in your head because
Yeah.
anybody that would look at you would not at all.
But
think,
this is the thing, Kelly. You're looking at me and you don't know I weigh 202 pounds.
Right.
But you can't tell because, I thank God all the time, but my weight is evenly distributed.
Yeah.
So, like, my best friend tells me all the time, she's like, no one can tell that you've gained weight. But I'm like, I hear you, but I definitely I've gained weight. I can see it sometimes.
Yeah.
And most importantly, it's around my stomach. Like, sometimes... And again, because I have the fibroid, what the fibroid does, it's on your uterus. So it tricks your body into thinking that it's pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm not like actually pregnant, but like the way that my
Yeah.
stomach is forming, literally, you can't see it because I wear, I know,
You know how to
certain
dress.
things,
Yeah.
But when I go to sleep, I'm like, damn, like this shit it feels like if I'm not pregnant now, I know what it feels like. Again, my personal journey. I don't want no one coming out here like, bitch.
Well, you have
look
like
skinny.
you have like a sick opportunity for a really funny April Fool's Instagram
I can't
post.
do the pregnancy every Latina does that I'm pregnant, and then whoever you're fucking at the time is gonna be stressed and it's not funny. But my rollout for my comedy special, whenever that comes out, is gonna be a sonogram. You heard it here first.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because I just feel like, there's so many stereotypes of like I should have been pregnant already.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All that. It's like, yeah.
Or as a woman in your 30s, you should be celebrating having a kid. And my kid is my comedy special.
Absolutely.
So
I fully feel you on that.
Yeah, so I'm going to that's going to be the rollout. But I want to ask you again, we have two different body dispositions.
Yeah.
Does some of the stuff that I say, obviously we're having a transparent conversation. Is it annoying to hear someone that maybe is like less, I guess we all think of ourselves like, oh, that person's, I wish I had her body.
Right.
I'm not saying that's what you're thinking, but like the way I'm on TikTok, I'm like, damn, this bitch looks good.
I hear you.
Do you feel like bothered or like annoyed by women that maybe are skinnier and whatever?
I used to.
Okay.
But I've been in a lot of therapy and I've lived in many different bodies. You know what I mean?
That's a really beautiful way to like describe life.
Well, because it's just the truth. And so now where I am, I don't. And that's why I feel like I have the ability to have a podcast like this because I have talked to so many people, but mostly women. Who do talk about exactly what you're talking about, and I just feel for you and I relate to you.
Oh, I'm not sad girl though, but
no, not in a sad way. Just in a way of like, I relate to, because I, it's my therapist would hate me if I said this, but I want to be in a different body, and like this isn't me just being like, oh, I'm totally cool. I'm trying to get cool with where I am and who I am, and but I relate to you completely on what you're saying. Like I know actually I don't know my happy weight, but I know that being less than where I am would be a happy weight.
Okay.
But, and I used to get really upset because I had this whole complex of like, well, if that's what you're saying about yourself, what could you possibly be thinking about me? Like, you must think I am like disgusting looking then. Like, I used to think that.
Okay. You know what? That's so interesting because I feel like everyone forgets that we're all in our own little planet.
I know.
And like, but also everyone's different. I've never looked at someone and been like, oh my God, that person's so...
Same.
I've never done that.
Except myself in the mirror.
One thing I would drag myself.
Oh yeah.
But like sometimes I'll meet somebody and be like, I can't believe you talk to yourself like that.
I know.
Like the one thing I will say is like, if a family member, like I said, I have gone up to family members, be like, hey, I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable. Like I want you to feel healthy. Like I have some family members that have gotten BBLs and have done gastric bypass, and I'm like, and my sister is not to put her business out there, so let's not put this on the public thing. But like she's exploring gastric bypass, and I'm like, I've
Googled it.
I prefer that. I'm a very like be natural type of person. Like yes, totally. I be wearing extensions and I'll do my nails, but like I really want to just be a natural person. That's my preference. But I'm like, if this is gonna make you happy and healthier, if that's what you think you need, I will. It's not my decision. I will support you, but I would prefer that you don't do that. Right? It's a surgery is a surgery. So I'm like, I don't want my sister to be doing surgery. Whatever.
I know. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
she does have like a few health complications at her weight where she just has to lose weight. Yeah. And again, everybody's shape is different, but she just has to for the health of whatever she's dealing with. But yeah, I've never been like, oh my God, that person is disgusting. I literally am so overwhelmed with shit that I have to do.
Yeah.
I don't really look around.
No, I really don't. My head
know?
is so down.
Yeah. Have you ever body shamed a guy though?
Have I ever body shamed a guy? Probably.
Okay, because I have done that.
Probably.
But not in like a... For me, it's just kind of... And I have a guy friend that talks about it all the time. It's like, when you're dating someone, it's like, does this... like, I think a lot of it comes down to lifestyle. So it's like, are we going to be able to have the same lifestyle? Like,
right.
If one thing, I have body shame for positivity. Like, I hear you being at the gym, and I'm so happy for you.
Right.
But I'm not the girl for you. Because
right.
I will not be going to the gym with you.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I don't want to be in a relationship where you're looking at me because you thought I was gonna be a gym bitch. One thing about me, I'm not a gym bitch. I'm a casual. I could do a treadmill. I could do a stairmaster type of bitch.
Do you ever watch Love Is Blind?
A girl, absolutely.
Oh my God, when what's AB's guy's name?
Is it AD Clay?
No, Clay.
Yeah.
AD.
Yeah.
Did I call her AB?
Yeah.
When he was saying to her, if I saw you like gaining weight, I would tell you to get your ass in the gym. I was like.
I was like, bitch, no.
Like, I mean, who already has a perfect body.
Right. She looks great.
She looks so good.
Is there a place for relationships for someone to tell you that?
So, not to tell me to go to the gym, but like Joe will put on a shirt where it's like, you were a large and now you're not, you know?
So positive.
So I'd be like, that shirt looks atrocious on you.
Wait,
like,
large, like you gained weight or you've gained weight?
Like you've gained weight, like you, that shirt. Well, okay, let's say a medium. Like you used to be a medium, and now you're not.
He's
you
more
know?
like a subliminal.
Well, not even subliminal, but well, yeah, I guess maybe subliminal. Just to be like you're gonna go out in that shirt. Like that looks crazy on you. Like, are you even comfortable? And you'd be like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I should start ordering bigger shirts.
I get. One time I did. When I had first became best friends with my best friend. We were shopping, and one thing about me, I just say whatever comes to my mind. So we're going through things. She's in the S in the small section. I'm like, I don't think you're a small, but I guess I just said it, and we always joke about how like it's like one of our callback jokes, like, bitch, you're not a small.
Yeah,
and
it was the delivery.
Yeah, I think that. And that's the thing about rapport, right? That's the difference between like people on the internet hounding you and like people that are really close with you, and you know deep down they would never want to hurt you. Mm-hmm. I think it depends who the message comes from, and if I said I wanted to receive that message, like you know, some people do tell their friends like, "Yo, I know you saw you had Kate here. She has a joke about her and her best friend made a pact when they were young, and if I, you know, so." If you tell your friend that, bitch, don't ever let me get big, that's what
you guys have going on.
But some random guy be like, oh, you a big bitch, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think I've asked my ex, do you think I've gained weight? But he didn't like say.
Well, don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to.
That's the shit that Dominican men be saying, bitch. You one of them. No. No, but you're right. And that's something that I've worked on in my relationships. I don't know. I guess there is a place. I think that Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, they do have a thing in their prenup that if somebody gains weight, they have the right for the divorce.
Whoa.
There's a thing. We might have to fact check that, but I think I've seen that.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it exists for other people, even not them.
Right. The wasps.
The wasps.
So I think that this is my honest opinion. Hopefully I don't get canceled. I think that relationships are your own culture, and you guys decide what works for you. If that is something that is so, because everyone wants different things in relationships. Some people just want vanity. Some people want intellectual communication. Some people want to build something. Some people want to just get married for money. Like, whatever. Like, at this point, everyone has a different need. If that is so important to you, do you. Yeah. Go be with those type of people, you know?
I don't think that, especially with relationships, like, I think people just, because people are so bad at communicating, everyone just thinks that like there's blanket rules for everything.
There's not.
And I truly know I could be 600 pounds and Joe isn't going anywhere. Like, I just know that.
Right.
But that is something that like we haven't talked about. It wasn't like a sit down thing, but like, if that is something that you want to talk about in your relationship of like, I'm not attracted to bigger girls or guys, or I'm not attracted to this or that. Like, I think that men especially could get painted as like, just automatically bad guys for thinking that way, but I don't think that that's necessarily true. Like, I do think that attraction is something that, like, you can't help who you're attracted to.
Can you? I've been thinking about that.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Why, you're trying to be into somebody?
No, I'm into someone. I'm like, damn, am I like, because I'll be like in a place and not find no one attracted, and then I'll see one person, I'm like, that's my man.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I also think attraction isn't just skin deep. I think attraction is the whole of the person.
Yeah, because then
not
once you
just
get
the
to
way
know
they
them,
look.
yeah.
You know, you get to know them. Like there is that. But attraction. But I mean, the physical body is also an attraction.
Yeah.
So it is also a key piece.
Yeah.
That's not
Like,
to say that
yeah.
I think that men or anybody for that matter should be saying, you're gaining weight, you need to lose weight, because it's like, how about you ask me how I'm doing?
Right. I think the need is where the issue is. Like, but some women, like, again, some people are not okay with that level of transparency. I'm a comic.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you need to tell me when I'm being annoying, when I need this type of communication. But I could see how people might not be able to do that in other relationships. So that's what I need. But also, I think it's a really unfair, like, sometimes the standards that we have as women. Because, like, our body, it doesn't matter how skinny you are. It is going to change when you get pregnant, when you maybe have a health condition, etc. So, I don't know. It's tricky. And I don't want to say the wrong things. But I think both partners do it sometimes. Because, like, it comes from both ways.
Yeah. And, like, sometimes you're kind of mad at them and you say something shitty because you're kind of mad.
Right.
You know, it's not like...
I don't know if I've ever shamed somebody because I was mad at them because they were big. I don't know, but sometimes, Kelly, sometimes when you're trying to, like, get over someone, you do say, oh, and that's why so and so.
Yeah.
And that, we all do that a little bit.
Absolutely.
Like, I remember I had an ex that gained so much weight, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't want to be with him anyways. Mind you, I'm still lurking on his pages or whatever. I think it's a human thing to sometimes weaponize weight.
Yeah.
And that's what this podcast is about, for us to, like, be like, okay, bitch, we both did it sometimes.
Yeah. I think we all do it.
Yeah.
I think, or when your ex is dating someone fatter than you and you're like, wow.
I don't know if I had an ex. You know what? I've had exes, like, we all body shame. We've all body shamed. I've had, like, I remember my ex's ex, like, I see, you about to get me canceled, bitch.
We've all made ourselves feel better by pointing out the fucked up things in other people.
Yeah, like, I call men bald all the time.
Right.
And that's fucked up a little bit.
Just by calling them bald.
Yeah, it's body shaming a little bit.
A little bit.
But, like, they have small dicks. That's
yeah,
body
or
shaming.
like short guys getting a bad rap just
Right.
because they're short.
I do body shame on shortness. Like, I'm not dating anyone shorter than me.
Yeah, I was the same way.
Yeah.
I was, because I'm 5'8", so and it's so annoying. I'm 5'8.5", and I feel like I should just say I'm 5'9", because that's like a little bit. I don't know.
I'm 5'7.5".
So you're 5'8".
Yes. Yeah. But so you're saying that sometimes you've hurt,
so I was always like, no, I cannot date, and like I would be mad at short women dating big tall guys, because I'm like,
right.
come on, where's them for?
Right.
And then I don't know, I kind of grew up. I hate to say it like that, but like I kind of, you know, like Joe is. I have a joke about him being like way shorter than me, and
He didn't even look that short.
oh, he's so short.
Oh.
He's like 5'5" on a good day.
I've dated a shorter guy before.
And you know what? It doesn't fucking matter. If I ever feel, there have been times where I felt like weird about it, and it's only because I feel bigger. Like, I like a tall guy to feel small, you know? So it's like,
Have you ever
that's my
felt
own shit.
bigger? You know something I went through in high school? I always felt bigger than all of my friends.
Every single girlfriend.
And I
And
don't know if
that's
it's
part of the
us
reason-
thing or...
I think part of the reason why in college especially I felt so fat was because I was just way taller. Like, I can't help that all my girlfriends are 5'4" and I'm 5'8", you know? So it would just be like line of heads and then me.
Yeah, it was a lot. But okay, so what are some of the views that have changed? Because I feel like, I think that when people weaponize like weight and baldness, whatever, it's just because like they're insecure a little bit.
Yeah. Oh,
Like-
yeah. You're masking something that you're wildly insecure about.
Yeah.
And like, I also think that like people that do have conventionally, this is a bad way to say it, this is the only way I can think to say it, conventionally unattractive attributes, like being a short guy. I think part of the reason why short guys get a bad rap is because they have a bad attitude. Well, maybe they have a bad attitude because they're like annoying. They're tired of being the butt of every joke.
Yeah.
You know,
Napoleon
it's like
complex.
it really is an energy about it. And like, Joe, I can say, really didn't have that energy.
Yeah, I mean,
like he was right with himself.
BDE has no height.
Yeah, absolutely.
BDE has no height.
Yeah. Truly.
Yeah.
It can come in any size package.
So, but yeah, I guess I'll revisit dating a shorter guy.
You don't. I mean, listen. It's. I'm not. I'm totally with you. Like I literally had. But when it came to like the prospect of like, because I knew he liked me. I knew Joe liked me. So I was like, I don't know. Should I go for it? And my one girlfriend was like, "What's the thing stopping?" I'm like, "He's way short." And she's like, "Bitch."
I know. My friend, she had to call me out on my toxic way of thinking. I was into this guy. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what kind of car he drives. She's like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
He has a car.
That's why you're single. And I'm like, so you're telling me I should love someone for who they are? That's crazy.
The nerve. The nerve.
But again, a lot of life is maturing and think and like, there's so many thought patterns that I used to have where I'm like, I used to be the kind of girl that, you know, would compare myself to another girl and be like, oh my God, like what if someone likes her more than like and like, you know, we're all in a courting phase and you know, men are dating multiple women at one time.
Yeah.
And you're like, what if like I'm not good enough because maybe he likes those type of girls or whatever. And I'm like, at the end of the now my mentality is more like my vibe is my vibe.
Yep.
I don't care if you like blonde bitches or brunette. I don't give a fuck. If you don't fuck with my vibe, I'm okay with that, you know?
Right.
But what am I gonna I can't change the way I look. I can't change the way my ass is. I just can't change it. So I'm not gonna make myself crazy over a guy that probably has mad insecurities, you know? So I think once I got out of like that, I think women sometimes compete with other women for men. You know, it's a thing that people do. And then once I got out of that thought pattern, out the race, I'm like, I'm good. I'm not in this dating race. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
So
I hear that.
And I think, you just stop comparing. Like, I never think about other people like that.
Well, you're just so focused on trying to get through your own stuff.
I have a long ass to-do list that I don't have time to like look up and be like, oh my God, whatever. Yeah. I know that I have to go to the gym. I'll get there when I get there. But I also think like there's so many beautiful different type of body types. Like the other day, I stay with my mom when I come here. So like I saw her like walking around in a t-shirt one day. I'm like, wow, like my mom is really beautiful. Like her body shape is so beautiful, and I can't believe she always hides it with this big ass coat. You know, so I'm like, you know, and you know what, Kylie, I'm toxic. So one of my exes, I saw him last year when I was in the middle of this breakup, and I was telling him, I was like, oh, let's keep the lights off. I don't want to see whatever. He's like, you have a woman's body. You're beautiful. I'm like, you're such a dick, but you know the right things to say.
Yeah. You know exactly what I want to hear.
Yeah, he said it. Honestly, I'm never gonna get back with him, but I'm not gonna lie. That compliment has made me feel so good.
Yeah, that is a nice thing to hear. And it's like, even though he doesn't sound like somebody you want to be with. It's
well, there
like,
was two exes. There's the one that was emotionally draining, and then the other one that's just a Scorpio. So both of them were done.
What's the sign of the person that's emotionally draining?
Gemini. Oh, I'm a Gemini.
Yeah, you're competing.
It could only be one of us draining the world. I can't, like, I got my own shit draining me. I got your shit draining me.
Yeah.
He would do really well with a Libra. I'm not. I actually want him to find love.
It's all about balance.
It's not me. I'm not balanced.
Yeah.
I'm not balanced. I'm just not.
So in the 4 weeks that you've been in LA, have you like come across any like crazy fitness characters? Cause like that, or not, maybe not fitness characters. What am I trying to ask? Like, I feel like in New York, you can kind of just be, you know, like there are so many different kinds of people here.
Oh my God.
Whereas
girl.
like in LA, it just feels extremely superficial. Like I went out there for a comedy festival a few years ago, and I felt like people would talk to me, but they kind of like would be like looking over me when they were talking to me.
I do feel that sometimes.
Isn't it weird?
I feel like LA feels like Pleasantville if it was Instagram.
Oh,
that's how I feel when I go over there. Like, it's bigger than vanity. It's like everyone has to fit a certain type of, like, if you're in a certain class, you have to act a certain way. Like, it's a, like in New York, I be around mad rich bitches. You don't even know you don't know nobody's bank account because we all like going through the same shit.
Yep.
But like in LA is very like, you know, it's my first time like being, besides I guess when I went to college, it's my first time being in America and like really taking in America. Like I'm like, oh my God, like these are the, like if you're in this class, is the way you dress, is the way you know, you're supposed to present yourself. If you're of this background, and it's just, it was stressing me out. But like part of the beauty of being a comic is that we get to be an outlier and get paid for that. So I'm like, yeah, there's certain things that I do subscribe to. Like, we all do it anyways, but I'm not going to drive myself crazy about it. Like, but I do notice all of them have time for the gym. I'm like, when
They
did
all have
when
time for
did
the
you have?
gym.
Because they don't fucking use their brains. That's
Yeah.
why. They have so much time for the gym because they don't know how to do strategic shit.
I'm just like, how does your like work schedule
They
allow
all
that?
have time for the gym.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to
Well, it's a priority, I guess.
yeah.
You know,
Like and more so like in the entertainment industry because you are getting booked off your looks.
Yeah,
Everyone
that's
says
what kills me.
yeah, like everyone is saying like, oh, like, you know, it's not in LA is 100% looks.
100%.
Like it really obviously there's talent in there woven in, but it makes you stand out. And I'm like, I have pressure on myself. I'm like, I feel like I need to lose so much weight to like be on TV or like be on a
Yeah.
podcast or whatever, so I can like look and feel good because part of the job is in LA they don't care about your feelings. You have to they
Yeah.
are trusting you to show up and do this job you said you knew how to do. So no one's gonna tell you that you look crazy or like in this scene you have to have 100% knowledge of what you look like on
Right.
each frame. And I don't have that shit yet. So I'm like, so yeah, all of them had time for the gym. All of them, you know, but can I be a hater?
Yeah,
yes, I can. But I guess it's great that they have time for the gym. I'm trying to figure that shit out on my schedule.
I wish.
I just don't. I don't even know what to do at the gym.
I know.
I'm like,
I'm at right now. My vibe is at home yoga. Like that's where I'm at.
yeah, I'm like, I could do Stairmaster.
Yeah.
I can put a reality
But
show.
you have to pay $200 to do that or whatever.
Well, I got a gym in my building.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one thing about me, I said I'm not gonna move to LA and struggle. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
cute
yeah.
in New York. That's part of the brand.
I know. Yeah,
I'm not
it is
doing
part
that.
of it.
Yeah, I moved in a building that has everything I would
Good.
ever need. Yeah,
Good.
So I'm gonna go to the gym one day.
Good.
Yeah.
Vlog it. Whatever.
Yeah,
Make it content.
I mean, I don't. There's some things that don't need to be content. Like everybody posts everything online. I'm like, I feel like my content is complaining and doing comedy, but
Right.
I don't need you to see me at the gym. I'm not because what's gonna happen is you're like, oh, she's at the gym, and then you're not gonna see a post for like 4 weeks.
Right.
And now you're gonna hold me accountable for some shit.
Right.
And I don't have time for that.
Totally.
Yeah. But they do take it more seriously over there. I guess I could take it seriously.
What do you think about, especially in Hollywood? Do you like reality television, like Housewives and stuff?
I do. At first, I used to be really against it, but now, I think with the times, I'm like, reality TV has become like life.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And
Are you watching Traders?
I'm not,
Oh
but
my god, girl, we almost had we almost were at the like
I know.
best friend part.
I know.
Sorry.
It's on. I have Peacock. It's like on my stuff
On the
list.
queue.
Yeah,
you
it's
have
on
to
the
watch
queue.
it, especially before everybody ruins everything.
I know. Well, anytime anything about Traders comes up on my
Okay.
feed, I immediately swipe
Yeah,
past.
but even if you see a photo, you're gonna know. And
I'm
it's like,
still getting through how I have a very bad memory. So no.
Okay.
I'm getting through House of Villains right now.
Okay, is it good?
It's honestly pretty funny.
Okay,
It reminds me very much of like, remember Flavor of Love?
Yeah.
It reminds me of like that, like kitschiness.
Okay.
You know, like those VH1 shows.
I'll check it out. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beginning before they got all like overproduced.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked that is because everybody, like all my housewives are on Ozempic.
People are doing too much
People
with
are
Ozempic.
doing too much with Ozempic.
And low key, I'm not gonna hold you. I did try to ask my doctor for Ozempic.
Oh.
He said no.
I'm glad. I
He
tried.
said go to the gym. I said fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Because it's really supposed to be for like clinically obese people.
Yeah.
And I had it wasn't Ozempic, it was an off brand. It was called Saxenda. And I basically, the way I'm going to phrase it is it fell off a truck. That's how I procured it. And so I wasn't doing it under doctor supervision. And
Did you get sick?
I didn't get sick, but I also don't think I was doing it right because I didn't like really lose any weight.
Okay.
But I only say that because I don't want it to like come out that I'd ever done it.
Yeah. Oh, but when this is pre-fame.
I know.
They're gonna
I'm
know,
in the
girl.
pre-fame, so I'm
They're gonna
owning
know.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never been prescribed, but I have had it, and I'm talking about it like Adderall.
Yeah.
But I have girlfriends that are intermittently on and off of it, and they gain the weight back. And I see you can tell when a celebrity's been on Ozempic and when they've been off, like. Because they start gaining the weight back very quickly.
But they look really saggy.
It's like
Are we shaming? We're shaming.
Well,
We're shaming.
We are
Sorry.
shaming.
I can just, there's a certain thing that happens to the skin that I can tell that this person has clearly taken some type of drug.
I think it's because they lose it so fast and they're not doing it in the diet and exercise kind of way. It's kind of like when you get like a weight loss surgery, there's that like sagging effect.
Yeah.
And it's like your body doesn't know how to adapt to like losing it. Yeah. But I think because we live in a society where like thinner is better, it's like, okay, we'll take the sagging skin. It's better. But guess what? I think like having like more fat in your face, like you look younger, like, you know.
I just think that a lot of body positivity comes from how you feel about yourself inside. Yeah. Like it just is that. And like you can be skinny. I have had friends that have done gastric bypass.
Yeah, I know a lot of
and
people.
And look, like for me, I'm like, you look good, bitch. Like if this was the desired body you wanted, bitch, you look good.
You did it.
But she's still not happy. Like she'll be in relationships. Hopefully she doesn't watch this. I love you. So she'll be in relationships and still is seeking something, and what you're seeking is self-love and taking Ozempic and doing gastric bypass and being your ideal weight is not going to be the thing that gives you love. You literally have to just accept this. Like you said, I've been in so many different bodies. This is a journey I'm on right now.
Yep.
No relationship, no amount of money, nothing can give you that. Except you being like, I actually love myself. I don't care how big or not or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. Like you can do other things and still be miserable. And you can kind of see it. Like sometimes I see someone, I'm like, oh no, they got her too. They got her.
I know.
She looks like a zombie.
I know. I do have that feeling of like, they got her.
They got her.
Do you watch Housewives of Salt Lake?
I know the character. Oh, you're talking about, is it Heather? Heather. And how she did a whole thing about... She said that she was disgusted that she was fat.
Yeah. Her main line from it was something like body positivity has failed us.
Oh, she did say that.
And it's like, no, you missed the mark. Like, and it's like, if you want to be skinny, I want you to be skinny. And I like the things that Heather Gay was saying of like the things that her cast members have said to her, the things that people on the internet say, you know, it's really hard. It's really hard. It beats down your spirit. So I understand why camera facing people are like, fuck yeah, I'm going on Ozempic. I mean, I do get it.
It does something. Like when I was on, I know we're doing a podcast right now, but when I was on those Hollywood podcasts and thinking, I was like, oh my God, I hate the way I look. Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know. I guess like, and the thing is that we have to leave room for that question, right? We have to leave room for all the questions. Like, is it something? Is it positive? Too positive? Is there such thing as that? Right. You know, and she don't gotta drag everybody though. She was on this. She's like, I'm not fat anymore, and I was like,
honey, do not forget where you came from.
I said she did a lot. I mean, I love me some Heather.
I love Heather.
I do. Yeah, but she did drag the body positivity movement. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and it's like, of course, someone that has a business called Beauty Lab is going to go on Ozempic. Like, she's in the business of changing bodies. Yeah. Like, that's what she does.
I just don't like when people betray the community. Yeah. Like, if you came up as a plus-size girly and you don't turn your back.
Don't forget where you came from.
Just say, hey, you know... Like, even Ashley, I be seeing her. I'm like, bitch, you don't look like you was 14. Yeah, You're giving 8. Yeah. And I followed you because you were 14 and I needed support. But I just don't turn your back on the community. Yeah. That's it. Or don't turn back on the girls that were rooting for you.
That brought you up.
You don't have... There's a way to say things, again, to say, like, this was a choice I made for myself.
Absolutely.
You don't gotta be like, well, bitch, you fat and I'm not anymore. Yeah. Like, damn, Heather.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That was kind of like the energy. She's like, I'm not fat anymore. I said,
and I'm never gonna be ever again. And like, and okay, I'll see you in 6 months.
Yeah, you don't know.
Right. So you don't know.
I don't know. I think that anything done in like too much is dangerous. So like everyone taking Ozempic right now, I think is like every trend fades. Yep. So that's what I'm gonna say. That even the Botox, whatever, all of that fades.
There's always been trends, especially even with medicine. Like in the 90s, everyone was on Ritalin. Like there's always trends.
It fades, and you just got to be able to know that, are you going to catch yourself after it fades? Yep. And that's it comes from inside. So, but she did betray the community. She was old. I saw that she was in that light. She had a season. She gave us bars. She gave us gifts. She gave us a lot.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. It was good. Oh my gosh. All right. We have to start winding down.
No, I know. I will talk. I told you I will talk forever. I'm a jump.
No, I love it. Yeah. I mean, the best guest to have on a podcast is one that likes to talk.
And that's what I need to do more. I need to actually do my own podcast, but I've been so busy.
I know. I'm
tired. And then I get nervous. I'm like, did I say something cancelable? But everything I'm saying is like my truth. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Also,
For
I don't.
for people I got famous.
I don't remember what I said.
Okay, that's you. My thing, I just want everyone to know it was my truth at the moment, and I have give me room to grow. Sometimes I mean, I've never said anything problematic, but I'm like, in
Not
this world, everything is a problem now. Like,
I know,
and that's stressful for me. I'm like, I was just saying how I felt.
Maybe we've made it when someone takes a podcast that we've done and they put it on TikTok and they're like, this is where they missed the mark.
Right.
You know,
or
and then it gets a million views.
Yeah. Like, did you see how they did Ayo when she brought up the Jennifer Lopez thing? I was like, damn, I'm scared. I've said so many things about J-Lo.
I know.
You know?
I know.
One question before we wind down. Do you think it is celebrities' responsibilities to maintain or not maintain body positivity, right? Like if somebody, like someone like Kim Kardashian, she loses a lot of weight or like gains a lot of weight. Do you think sometimes we put too much pressure on the celebrity to keep up?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. No, I don't. I think that if body positivity is your thing, I think if you made it your thing, then sure. Yeah. But I don't. I think that we don't put enough in personal responsibility.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I can see, like, okay, you can kind of arguably say, even though Ozempic had been around before it became public that Kim was on it, that there was a bit of an Ozempic boom because we saw how Kim looked at the Met Gala, and
she did look super skinny.
Yeah,
I think people were talking about how skinny she was.
Yeah. So like she had made a comment like, I haven't eaten in like 7 days to fit into this dress.
That was crazy.
You know, and like that is a crazy thing to say, but I don't think that it really warrants people putting out exposés on how like she's a danger to society because of it.
Well, see, now we got to get into part 2 of this thing. I think that's the thing you were saying. Like the thing with Kim is that she has always been body positivity. Like she's always been this Armenian girl that had a little bit of extra booty. And her brand has always been, I'm going to love myself no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
So when she lost all that weight, it was like, bitch, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
So I think that's the thing about when you get a platform and you get the platform with the cause, if once you betray the cause.
Yeah. I guess I didn't realize that her whole thing was like being curvy. I guess I hadn't realized that.
When she first came out, but then a lot of, like, she's a Libra. Libras love vanity.
Oh, yeah. We're very vain.
So it's like her whole thing is like, I have to do whatever it needs to be beautiful.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're going to subscribe to that, and you have an audience that subscribes to that, then I guess that's where the danger lies.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to Kim Kardashian. I just think that she's a Libra that wants a lot of attention.
Yeah.
So I don't really, whatever.
And she did a good job at achieving it.
Yeah.
I also like, Kardashians came out when I was at the age to get sucked in about it, so I'm a little bit of a Kardashian apologist with this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kelly, we just talked all this shit. And you're like, well, Kim, I was like, no, bitch, accountability.
Okay, here's my whole thing: is that like I don't necessarily think our entertainers need to be the people that are the bastions of what's right in society.
But so the thing about the entertainer is that she's a reality star. It's a difference between like someone like a Oprah and an actress that is like, you know, that their job is to just whatever. Yeah. But she came up on the thing about reality is that you're coming up on the people platform.
Yeah. And actually, now that you, as we're talking about it, I guess I'm against people that are like. Someone that's on Ozempic is somebody that either has diabetes or they are too fat to function. Yeah. That's who should be on Ozempic. Yeah. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah. Like, if the difference is you going to the gym and losing 25 pounds and that being what you need to be, you shouldn't be fucking with Ozempic. Yeah. And the other thing about Kim is she has the money and the resources to change the way that she looks overnight. Yeah. And because there was like a stretch, definitely like pre-pandemic, probably like 2016 to 2021, where everybody looked like Kim Kardashian. Yeah, all the girls that went on reality TV looked like Kim Kardashian. They had BBLs, they had really thin waists, they had big boobs, and then now all those girls have to lay in those beds with the way that they look now because they spent all their money to look like Kim Kardashian, and now Kim looks completely different.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing about following people. You got to follow yourself.
Yeah. And she is a tastemaker in that way, a trendsetter. And I think that's a really bad reflection of society.
I mean, she's a trendsetter to some people. Like I never like. I think when I first, sorry, I thought we were winding down. If we were winding
No,
back
it's
up.
fine. I mean, what's the time?
I guess you're right. I don't know. It's rough. The internet has definitely made it rough. Like I come from a world where I didn't have the internet all of my life, so like I don't have to subscribe 100% to the beauty standards of Instagram.
Right.
So like I think I still have like a little bit of my brain where it's like, you know what, I'm okay with being natural.
Right,
like,
right.
If you don't like, I'm a comic. Like my job is to be myself.
Right.
And if you don't like it, great, I'm doing my job. Like it should give you a reaction. But it's rough. I don't know, Kelly. I don't know.
I know. I don't know either. I definitely don't have all the right answers. And how I feel about Kim Kardashian today will definitely change by tomorrow because that's just life.
Yeah.
That's how everything happens, you know?
I think it's intention, right? Like it's, and I think that's the issue that I have with Kim Kardashian is like, it's never been like authentically herself. It's been like, hey, I'm chasing a trend so I could be the trend maker. And I'm going to just do whatever it takes to still be relevant instead of being like, no, bitch, I want to be skinny. And if you bitches did what you had to do, that's not my problem. But it's just kind of like, I want this kind of like admiration. She's a beautiful woman, but I don't know. It's hard. It's just hard. I also ask myself, like, are there any celebrities that I would just follow blindly? I don't know. But there are people that I see.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never really been like a celeb stan, but there are people on TikTok that I'm like, thank you for showing me something honest.
Yeah.
Because I'm really going through it right now. And I admire you for showing me what it looks like once you have a baby. What does that look like? Once you want to use a shapewear.
Right.
And yeah, like I admire those creators a lot. And even if they were to lose weight, I'm not gonna be like, I needed you to stay that weight so that I can relate to you. People have the right to change, but just give me a little heads up.
Yeah.
And don't betray me.
Don't betray me.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
it is.
it.
Don't
Yeah.
betray me.
Because that's what community is, where it's like, yo, like but then there's codependency on our ends. I think that's what the celeb thing is, but.
Well, it's these parasocial relationships that we have with these people on the screens where it's like, there are people that think Kim is their friend. They think Taylor Swift is their friend. And it's like, they don't even know you exist.
They don't know you
But they'll die for them.
Yeah.
You know?
That's too much. You need to have, there needs to be some space.
Some space, yeah. I mean, but as aspiring famous people, as pre-famous people, we want people to have parasocial relationships with us.
But I think the comic parasocial relationship is different than the celebrity or reality star. Like
that's true.
We're
more accessible.
Yeah, 100%. We literally see hundreds of people at like. Anyone that follows me can come to a show and see me. Like these
know
people,
exactly where I am.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
I don't know where Kim Kardashian's at. I'm not gonna be invited to the
white party,
right? The all white Met Gala party. I'm not gonna be there, or like So I'm like, we are accessible, and I think our job as comedians is to actually archive moments in time and talk about what that looks like versus like chasing a trend. I mean, some comics. Not everyone has integrity, but our job is to say, hey, as a woman, as a Latina Dominican woman, this is my experience. If you want to see what my life looks like, follow me. Yeah. And what that journey we're going on, we're literally changing it before our eyes, right? Before people's eyes. But other people are just like, I want this attention, so I'm going to brand myself as this and then do the bait switch so I can still be relevant. And that's not authentic. I think that's a difference between our social relationships that people could come to the show. Yeah. So yeah. I think there's some differences.
I think you hit it. Authenticity is key. I'm listening to Rick Rubin's book right now, and all he talks about is how like your authenticity is the only thing that's going to get you through, especially as an artist in entertainment. Like
100%.
People will see through the facade of being phony.
And people are seeing it now online. Like it's
absolutely.
Like one thing, I don't know what it is on TikTok, but you could see when someone's performing.
Yeah.
And that's why these influencers, all them bitches on Ozempic, they don't do well on Instagram, on TikTok. On Instagram is much more curated, so you can show up and be like, yeah, this is what I stand for. But you can read, I don't know what it is, the TikTok filters, you can read through everybody's personality on TikTok. So that's why some people are having a hard time transitioning on the apps. Yeah. But yeah, those are my thoughts on weight loss and body positivity and Kim Kardashian. But I don't want to I'm not a hater. I'm not a Kim Kardashian hater. Yeah. I just know how Libras are. Like I know how they are.
You're more of a Libra hater,
I'm not a Libra hater. I've just had a lot of contentious relationship with Libras. Yeah. Where I'm like, I'm showing up as myself and you're questioning that. And I'm like, Bitch, I thought we were friends. Where did this argument come from? But I know with Libras, like, we have things we have in common, and we should bond over those things. But once it gets to emotions, I just can't. I just can't with Libra. And that's a different Libra shaming conversation.
Yeah, Libra. I'll definitely horoscope shame. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on,
Kelly.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Apartment.
I really appreciate it.
It's really warm in here, and I hope our conversation was more helpful than like anything else. Like, for people, because I'm like, I literally am going through it right now, and I don't want anyone to think I'm a Heather when I lose some weight and be like, oh, that bitch betrayed me.
No, you're too real for them.
Yeah, it's just life. And
it's just life. Yeah, because I do think about that. I'm like, because my weight will always fluctuate, always. And so it's like, and I definitely see it with like people that their whole platform is being plus size when they've lost weight. People, like, their fans get mad, and that's a whole different conversation. So whatever. I mean, we're all just trying to survive.
All of us.
That's really just what it is.
I'm tired.
So tired. So tired.
But I am going to eat after this, so there goes that.
There you go. I mean, you got to have dinner. You got to have dinner.
So I'm going to go eat that.
Amazing. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Glorelys Mora, on TikTok, Glorelys. Even though I don't have a strategy. I just be posting whatever comes to my mind.
You never know what's going to hit. Just keep posting.
You just never know what I'm going to say. That's really what it is. And the show. I'm in LA right now, but I'll be back in June for my birthday party.
So fun. Amazing. Okay, guys, everything of Glorys will be in the show notes. Until next week. Bye.
Bye.